What's up guys, welcome back to another build battle where you guys submit your pictures and videos and I pretty much rate them and put them against each other, and the winner takes home some free Race Legacy merch. I got a jet tag and a sticker pack for the winner today, so let's get right to it. So here we have a Sea Salt 507. He actually sent me a screenshot of his model list right here. So it's actually a 98 Eclipse GSX with 93,000 miles, which explains why the body looks so clean. I'm honestly kind of jealous of the fact that this car is just so mint. When it comes to those fenders in the front, I've never seen those before. I don't know where they're from, but they actually don't look half bad. Like from the front view, you can't really tell until you get to the back. So it's some sort of wide body look from the looks of it. It does have some custom 18-inch Desmond Wise sports wheels. So I've never heard of them. These wheels do look super good on the car. He does have some pretty meaty tires on there from what I can see. He is sitting a little bit high for my taste, but it's a pretty functional car as it is. So he has an FP green turbo, FP exhaust manifold, a Pexi N1 exhaust with downpipe, 272 cams, DSM link with speed density, AM wideband, 1000cc injectors, Walbro 255 fuel pump, Fuel Lab FPR, Grady front intercooler, Takiko struts with iBox springs, front and rear strut bars. So just based off that list of performance mods he sent me, I could tell that he knows exactly what he's doing with the DSM build. If I had a budget of like, let's say 5,000 to 6,000 with an Eclipse, that would probably be the direction I would take, because upgrading your turbo, going with DSM link, you're adding all the fuel you need for a proper speed density and E85 setup. You're already pushing over 400 horsepower easy, and these cars can handle that as long as the maintenance is provided beforehand. He really did a good job, and this is a really good example for my Eclipse guys on the proper modifications to do on an Eclipse. Add some wheels, tinted the windows, but honestly this is a pretty solid Eclipse, and this is a really great example if you're trying to get into one. I feel like a lot of people have to go through their trials and tribulations before they reach a point to where they build a super clean Eclipse like this with the proper performance mods. If this was mine, obviously I'd probably just add a lip kit on it, so front lip, side skirt extensions. I feel like all you really need is a lip kit, so the side skirt extensions and a front lip, either from Amazon, eBay, Carbonetics. But this is just really well done. Props to you. This is a solid 9 to me because he did the right performance mods, and aesthetically it's just, it looks clean and simple. That's all you need with these cars. All right, so next Eclipse we have Jose Guerrero representing Texas based off of that front plate. I could tell it's a 428 based off the air vents on the side. The turbo models don't have the passenger side, so this one does have it. So I'm assuming it's a 420A. He has a front lip, side skirt extension, some canards, and he has a quick release bumper. If this was my car, what would I do? I would first of all get rid of the front plate. I've never been a fan of the front blades. Get rid of the quick release bumper thingies. I've never been a fan of those. Definitely lower the car. It looks to be stock height. Once you lower these cars, they just look so good. So I love this car. It looks really good. The lip kit's there. Maybe fix your side skirts. My car had that same issue. Just make sure that you have all the clips in there. If anything, drill something from the bottom to make sure it's all flush. But besides that, it doesn't really need much. Foundation's there. From 1 to 10, give you a solid 7. It does need some work a little bit. So yeah, I'm not sure if you're in the car, but you do look pretty young. So I'm assuming you barely got this car. So I get how it is in the beginning. You just starting off. Shout out to all my young people that are trying to get into Eclipses. I feel like it's actually really rare for the younger kids to even consider these, considering that they're from the 90s. So I feel like a lot of the new kids kind of get into like the FRSs and the BRZs or like the WRXs. I guess just newer cars. I don't know. I've always been a fan of the 90s cars, and I have a preference. Next, we have a Fat Dodge Neon. I'm not sure if the car is a 420 because of the name, but you could actually tell because he doesn't have a sunroof. His side mirrors are actually black, and I could tell that he painted the car because his door handles are red, and he has some side skirts on there. So I'm assuming it's a 428 RS. The RSs came with those, but it's super clean. Honestly, as you guys can tell, all you need for an Eclipse is a nice drop and a nice set of wheels with proper fitment, and it looks as good as this. Like if I saw this on the street, I'd be like, damn, this is clean. Now, if this was my car, I would take off the rear sticker, front sticker, maybe do an antenna delete unless you use a radio a lot. For the most part, I know people just use the Bluetooth, so you don't really need them. There is a special plug for those. Maybe raise the car, which I know you won't because it's personal preference, but if you raise the car, you could run a proper lip kit on there and make that thing look that much better. But for my 428 boys, this is realistically all you need. If you just want a car for looks, I feel like the Eclipse is a really good platform. Get the non-turbo model, but I do know for a fact this thing does turn heads everywhere it goes. Just, it looks good. I mean, it's all you need, dude. This is honestly a solid 9. It's really aesthetic. It's really clean. I love the color. I love the stance, even though I'm not much of a stance guy. It just looks clean. You can't negate the fact that it's just really beautiful. Next, we have Deca. So this car is really cool because I used to have a homie back when I barely got my Eclipse that had an Ego Talon, same rear end, same exact color wheel, and it was like the first GST I ever saw in my life. He had a super loud Grady Type S Lava, which is a huge reason as to why I got mine. And the thing was just gnarly. It was like my first GST that I ever saw, and based off his stickers, I see a ECM link. So he has DSM link. I see Exetti. He probably has like some sort of upgraded intermediate clutch, ARP head studs. They probably built the engine. I do see an exhaust dumping out of the front bumper and some pretty gnarly FD wheels with some sticky Toyo tires. So this is probably a drag car or somewhat a pretty decently quick DSM. This to me just represents DSM in a bunch, just something quick but doesn't look aesthetically like as pleasing to many people, but like if you know, you know. And I do see some sort of air ram on the passenger side, which I'm assuming is going straight to the intake, but I'm not too sure. Here we have an engine bay pick. I do see some bolt-ons. I see an external wastegate, a tile blowout valve. From my intercooler, of course, it looks pretty heavily modified, and I'm pretty sure it's unreliable as well. You let me know, but from 1 to 10, this is a solid 8 because DSMs range from like the stance slash aesthetic boys to like the performance slash drag car DSM guys, and I like to be like right in between, right? So I like my car to look good, but at the same time pack a punch with like 400 horsepower, which to me is like more than enough, but he seems to be more on the performance side. So I'm not sure how much power he's making. I wish I got a model list of this car. He did send me an interior picture, so he doesn't have any rear seats. I'm not sure what brand seats those are. I would definitely switch out the harnesses at least, man, just to keep you safe. I'm not really a big fan of those because I know they don't really get regulated as far as safety. So all right, so next up we have a DSM Marvin 67. I know he's a local DSM guy. I've seen him around in the cruises and the meets. So super clean 420A. I know it's a 420A. He has a lip kiss. He has a front lip. He has a side skirt extensions off the Subaru. He does have a rear diffuser, which I think it's the FD RX-7 one. Not too sure. I don't really see those as commonly on the DSM. I do see he did something to the tail lights. He painted his centerpiece to match the car, which is honestly a really good cheap modification for you to do. This is probably like a perfect fit maybe because it's a 420A. I know he doesn't rub as much and it looks super clean. So to me, it's really well done. Now, if I was to ball out on the car, I would definitely get the side skirt extensions and front lip in carbon fiber. Maybe get a carbon fiber centerpiece, carbon fiber diffuser. Definitely take off your front plates. I don't run any front plates in my cars. I know we're in California, but Eclipses just look that much better without a front plate. I'm no lawyer, but I don't know how cops are in your area, but if you can remove that front plate, do it, man. I think it'll look a lot better. He also sent me this other picture of his taillights, which I actually have never seen. So I think that's Plasti Dip, but it's pretty creative because he put DSM on the left side and then he put Diamond Star Motors on the right. So I think that's why his taillights are kind of blacked out. So it's pretty creative, pretty cool. DSM Marvin, 1 to 10, solid 8, 8.5, clean 420A. Love the color, by the way. You know, I love silver. But yeah, foundation's there, unless you want to ball out, get some carbon fiber parts, but other than that, you don't really need much. Next person in line, we have Darion Bassett with a super clean Eclipse GST. Wow. So right off the bat, I noticed he has the brand new Carbonetics high-rise gurney flap extension thing. I still have to go out to TJ out in Mexico to pick mine up, but he does offer it in FRP and carbon. It kind of gives the rear wing a nice touch. So I don't know how it's going to look on my car, but I'm pretty hyped to go pick it up soon. So this is the OEM gray color. He did black out his side markers in the front. He has a front lip off of Amazon or eBay. Those are actually quite cheap. They're honestly the best bang for your buck as far as front lips go, and in my opinion, they're probably the best looking front lips on Eclipses. I've been trying to have Sergio from Carbonetics replicate these in carbon fiber, but he doesn't want to. So the best thing you can do to get those lips is either eBay or Amazon. So I'll link the Amazon link below in the video description if you're trying to get it. They're like 120 bucks, so it's not too bad. So he has the front lip, side skirt extensions off the Subaru. I'm not sure on the brand of the wheels. I would probably switch up my tire choice. These do tend to look pretty skinny on there, so maybe if you want like an R comp, a little more aggressive tire, I think it would look aesthetically a lot better and it would perform a lot better because it'd be a lot gripper. So maybe like some Toyo tires, some Falcon tires. He did cut the mustache, which I highly recommend if you have a front mount on your car. He does have the exhaust coming out of the front bumper, which is pretty common with the DSMs, and I still see that he has the Bluetooth exhaust like I do in his back bumper just to make sure that the back looks complete. So based off the engine bay picture, he has some gritty style type blowout valve. I see an intake. We have the front mount, intercooler piping. That's kind of all I see. It doesn't really look too extensively modified, but the foundation's there, man. This is a solid 9, 9.5. This is really beautiful, really well done. Up next, we have LosXATL with a super clean gray Spider. This is pretty well done. So straight off the bat, he has T37. So my respects. I love those wheels. Those wheels look good on anything like tuner style. He does have a carbon fiber hood, and I could tell that it's a GST based off the front mount in there. So now if this was my car, I would probably get rid of the hood risers in the back. I'm not really a fan of those. I think they originated from Hondas. It's mainly for aesthetics and for hit dissipation from the engine bay. Now I understand GSTs and GSX do run really, really hot. but I don't think it's necessary. I would probably just put that back to stock. I do notice your side vents are kind of looking a little bit old. You could take those off and plasti dip them, and what's cool about the plasti dip is that it's going to give you the same texture as OEM, and it's going to make it look black again. So just kind of restore that piece. Definitely get rid of the bumper release thingies right there. A lot of people zip tie or put like rubber bands. Never been a fan of those. I never understood those. Most people kind of did those back in the day because it was kind of like a big fad. For the JDM cars, definitely cut the mustache, man. If you have a front mount and cut that mustache off, it just makes the front end look a lot more aggressive. The car's solid, it just needs a little bit of TLC. So, but if I was to rate this from 1 to 10, this is a solid 8.5. Super clean, man. So shout out to LosXATL for submitting his car. Now we have a Chris with what seems to be like a turbo Eclipse based off the front mount and the gauges. He has a carbon fiber style hood. Now I'm not sure if he has a hood dump because I do see a hole in there. Hood pins, aftermarket headlights. He painted the mustache gold and he has like 3 holes in the front bumper. So based off this picture, it is a 4G63, so I'm not sure if it's a GST or GSX. Obviously, depending on where you live, if this was my car, I would definitely drop it. Definitely get yourself some bigger wheels or bigger tires at least. Kind of fill that gap. Definitely go back to OEM headlights. Never been a fan of the projectors. And kind of get rid of that mesh in the front mount and the side vents. Other than that, I mean, it's the foundations there. It's cool. Maybe paint the car. It seems to be repainted black of some sort. And I do see the tan interior, but it is a GST GSX, so you do have the proper car to build something off of. Oh, I just noticed he has a 1G. You guys should send me 1Gs, man. I barely get any 1Gs, so I think that's a 1GA. Like if I was to own a 1G, it would be a 1GA over a 1GB. I think those are super sick. But yeah, so 1 to 10, solid 6.5, 7. It does need some work. I definitely drop the car, get some wider wheels and tires, maybe change out the lip kit, get rid of the golden mesh. But I do see you're trying to go for that color scheme. So thanks to you for submitting your car. Next up, we have a Jewel DSM with a super clean stanced out. I think it's a turbo model based off the front mount, so super low. He does have some pretty good fitment though. And he also has the clear taillights, which are actually quite rare in the DSM community. So there's a big controversial topic about these taillights because they're actually discontinued. They no longer exist, and whenever you see them pop up, they're being sold for like 500 bucks, and to many people it's kind of like a ripoff. To me it is, because I don't consider them $500 taillights. I do like the EDM ones a lot more because they're OEM. But these, you can't, I mean, these don't look bad in a lot of cars. I'm sure my car would actually rock them quite well, but I just don't think they're worth that much. But I think it's just a supply and demand factor. People are saying they're selling them for that much, and based off your interior, you have a Momo steering wheel, you have the AEM gauges. Yeah, it's definitely a GST or GSX based off the cluster there. So get a new front mount, cut the mustache for the rear, do a rear wiper delete, take off the sticker. Interior, get some bucket seats, black leather interior, and dude, that car would be a solid 10, dude. It looks super clean, well done. Turbo model, I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of the turbo guys mad because when you stance a car, it's like you're kind of ruining it to a lot of people. So that's pretty much it for today's contestants. Now, if I had to choose a winner, it's gonna be quite tough just because I don't know, man. It's a really tough one. You guys comment down below who you think should win this one. Sea Salt has a really clean GSX, and this is something that I would build if I had to start over with a GSX, and it's also silver, so I'm kind of biased towards them. So I'm sorry, dude, I can't let you win because then I feel like it's not fair. We have Fat Dodge Neon with a super clean red RS. Aesthetically, it just looks super clean. I'm just not a fan of the stickers, but other than that, I love his car. Deca, who else? And then we have a Darion Bassett. So damn, dude, it's tough, man. And even Ju DSM, I love his style. I love how he modified this car. I'm between all those cars, but the one that needs the least amount of work, honestly, in my opinion, is gonna have to be Darion Bassett. So it's a tough choice. Honestly, sorry to the other guys, but damn, like this one was really hard to pick just because man, some of you guys have some really clean Eclipses, and I don't know, man, it's just like this gray one doesn't really need much. Just get a fatter tire, man, and you're set. That's all you need, and it's a perfect Eclipse to me. So Darion Bassett, go ahead and reach out to me. I'll try to reach out to you and find you. But if you guys are interested in any stickers or any other Race Legacy merch, I will post that in the link as well. Other than that, I'll go ahead and let you guys go here. Let me know what you guys thought about the video, and I'll see you on the next one.